is CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. And right off the top, a victim is in critical condition after being shot at a Walgreens in Doral. Police say an argument between two customers led to the gunfire. Chopper 4 over the scene. It happened along Miramar Boulevard and Southwest 24th Court. Police say the gunman is in custody. We're going to have the very latest in a live report coming up on CBS News Miami at 5. A death investigation is underway. It's after police say a body was found floating in a lake in Doral. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch is at the scene. He explains what we have learned so far.
At this point, this case remains a mystery. This is where there was a crime scene starting just after 10 in the morning. Now, the body had been covered with a yellow tarpaulin on the far side of this canal bank at Northwest 89th Place at 20th Street, not far from the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office headquarters. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says it was around 10:03 this morning when they responded to what they heard was a sick or injured person in a canal. Taking a look here at some pictures from Chopper 4, we can tell you that divers were called out, and Doral police also responded and said the body of a 67-year-old black man was discovered here. It happened behind a business. Investigators have been on the scene. It is not known where the man was from or how he died. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit has been called out to the scene, and we are expecting some answers about what happened here sometime later today. In Doral, Peter Dinch, CBS News, Miami.
And happening right now, you are taking a live look as President Trump is with the Panthers. You're looking at live pictures from our nation's capital after the Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, right now at the White House visiting President Trump for the first time after winning the Cup this past June. And this is the first championship and, of course, the first time they're visiting the White House at our nation's capital as they gear up to play the Washington Capitals tomorrow. We're going to have the very latest on this coming up in sports.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, kind of a hazy and overcast afternoon as we start our work week. And this warmer weather is expected to stay around, Shane.
It certainly is, Naja. Let me tell you, it was sticky this morning as I went on my morning jog. Maybe you felt it as well. Right now, it is still pretty warm. I'm kind of jealous of all the people out at the beach. Upper 70s to lower 80s across all of South Florida. Now, we did have a quick pop-up shower that hit me when I was doing my run this morning. I don't know if you interfered with it. It was right there near Miami. Right now, we're seeing a few showers further inland in Broward County. Very light in nature, very brief. We're going to hold on to a 10% chance for a shower, not only throughout the rest of the evening as that wind moves in from the east, but also as we go throughout the day tomorrow. In fact, you're going to notice throughout the week, we have a very consistent weather pattern for us here. Easterly or southeasterly flow, maybe a 10% stray pop-up shower chance here and there. But for the most part, we're going to be trending warm and dry. Tonight, as we go through the evening, I'll hold on to a 10% chance for an isolated shower, just so you're not caught off guard. Most of you are going to stay dry. Temperatures slowly taper off into the mid-70s by 7 o'clock for those of you who maybe have any outdoor dining plans. Flash forward to tomorrow morning. You're going to wake up in the upper 60s to lower 70s, maybe feeling still a little bit soupy out there as you kick off your morning commute. Tomorrow afternoon, I think we're going to be back in the upper 70s to lower 80s, maybe even some locations getting to the mid-80s like Pembroke Pines, mid to upper 70s if you are heading out in the afternoon in the Keys. Breaking down your 7-day forecast. Like I said, not a lot of changes from day to day here. You're going to wake up, those mornings going to feel warm and humid. Upper 60s. Notice our winds maybe shift from the east to southeast, maybe some days getting up to 15 miles per hour. That would provide some kind of relief. As we head toward the back half of the week, notice we kind of warm things up by maybe a degree or two, but it's pretty consistent as we head into the weekend, as I do expect mostly sunny skies with stray 10% isolated shower chances, not only over the weekend, but into the beginning of next week as well, Naja.
Shane, thank you. Now at 4, South Florida's Venezuelan community is sounding off about President Donald Trump's move to eliminate deportation protections. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor has the report.
And the message at this press conference, which was held here in Doral, is we are not criminals. And that is how several organizations are responding to the decision of the new Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, because she revoked the temporary protected status, one of the two, for Venezuelans, and as many as 350,000 would be affected. So they gather at El Arepazo restaurant in this city to address their concern. The move by the Trump administration, which would affect hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans covered under a 2023 TPS designation. That means they will lose their work permit and deportation protection 2 months after NOEM's decision is officially published, which means by April 2nd.
TPS holders are people that are living a legal life in the United States. If 300,000 people lose their status on their TPS, many businesses are going to suffer. Not even talking about the humanitarian toll that they already said, that we cannot go back to Venezuelan people. We are not here because we came as tourists. We are here because we got kicked out from our country because for over 20 years there is a cruel dictatorship in Venezuela.
Some of the activists said that they're going to be taking legal actions, hoping to stop some of the deportations. Coming up at 5 p.m., we will have more on that, as well as reaction by some of the Venezuelans affected by the decision, who they fear being deported to their homeland. We are in Doral. Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
President Trump says he reached a deal to pause tariffs on Mexico. The president also said that he spoke with Canada's Justin Trudeau today, raising the possibility that a trade war may be avoided. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brandt has the latest from the White House.
President Trump says the 25% tariff on imports from Mexico that was supposed to go into effect at midnight is on hold for a month while the two nations negotiate.
We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't.
His administration's planned tariffs on both Mexico and Canada would have impacted everyone from automakers to home builders, farmers, and restaurants. But Mexico has agreed to beef up security at the border, pausing that tariff.
10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do.
Canada has vowed 25% retaliatory tariffs. President Trump said he's planning to talk to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau again this afternoon.
We didn't ask for this, but we will not back down.
And Trump said he'll also be speaking with China in the next 48 hours as goods from that country face an extra 10% levy. The Trump administration is also taking aim at the U.S. Agency for International Development, which distributes billions of dollars in humanitarian aid and foreign assistance. Sources tell CBS News USAID will be merged into the State Department with significant cuts in the workforce. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters he's now the agency's acting administrator.
In many cases, USAID is involved in programs that run counter to what we're trying to do in our national strategy with that country or with that region. That cannot continue. USAID is not an independent, non-governmental entity.
Dave Harden is a former USAID official.
This is an assault on the rule of law and the Constitution and the separation of powers between the legislative and the executive branch.
Democratic lawmakers say any changes to the agency must be approved by Congress. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And now to the latest on the deadly midair collision near Washington, D.C. Crews have begun removing the wreckage from the Potomac River. Crews recovered 11 more bodies over the weekend as officials revealed new details from the investigation. CBS News Miami's Chris Van Cleve has the latest.
Under a massive police escort, the families of the 67 people killed in Wednesday's midair collision gathered within sight of the wreckage just off one of the runways at Washington's Reagan National Airport Sunday.
I was hoping he was on another flight, but when we put all the pieces together, it was obvious that it was him.
Tim Lilly's son Sam was the co-pilot on Flight 5342. He was engaged to be married.
I want to thank the first responders that got out there in the night with the water that was freezing and the people that they were pulling out that were, they were just trying to recover our loved ones for us.
55 bodies have been recovered as NTSB investigators say black box data indicates the airliner was flying at around 325 feet ahead of the collision. That's well higher than the 200 feet set by the FAA for helicopter traffic in that area. According to the NTSB, the airline pilots appeared to pull up about a second before the crash, and investigators are working to understand if the air traffic controller's screens were providing the helicopter's actual altitude leading up to the collision.
From tragedy, we draw knowledge to improve the safety for us all.
The Army has now identified all 3 helicopter crew members, including Captain Rebecca Lobach, as we learn more about their training mission.
These were 2 experienced, qualified pilots to fly in this local area. This is something they've done many times before, and they were simply out flying a training mission that's required to reevaluate, just like every Army pilot does on an annual basis.
That helicopter had 2 pilots and a crew chief on board. The airspace around Washington Reagan Airport has been closed to helicopter traffic. We've also learned there were 5 people in the airport's control tower Wednesday night. That includes 2 controllers. CBS News has learned were doing multiple jobs. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington's Reagan National Airport.
And heading back out to our nation's capital, you are taking a live look right now at President Trump, and he is speaking and presenting with, the Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. You can see them all lining up. They're at the White House visiting the president for the first time after winning that prestigious Stanley Cup trophy this past June. It was certainly a moment that all of us in South Florida will cherish, and how amazing for them to be at the White House right now being recognized by President Trump. This is their first championship, and of course their first time visiting the White House as well. So stay with us for the very latest. Sports is going to have more coming up on CBS News Miami at 5.
Dreams into reality. So congratulations once again to the Florida Panthers on just an unbelievable season and a really an unbelievable run, because you've been doing so well and now you continue to do well. We'll try and get to one of those games. It's a little tough as president, but I think we can work it out. We need a lot of Secret Service. They'll be happy. Well, we're gonna get to do it. You've made your state and your fans very, very proud, and now I'd like to introduce my friend Vinny Viola, who's a real champion himself. He's a champion in everything he's ever done, loves the military. First thing he did, I see him, he said, you got to do this with the Army. You got to move them here, you got to move them. He's giving me all the instructions. You love the military. I would have liked him, we should have had you in Afghanistan instead of the characters we had. Would have turned out a little bit different, huh? Come here. Congratulations. Congratulations. Great, Vinny.
First, Mr. President, you look fantastic. Thank you. So whatever it is you're working so hard at, it's agreeing with you, and I like to see that, and thank you. So we brought a cohort, to use a term we use in the military, of champions to visit a champion. And your kindness and the hospitality displayed by your staff is a simple reflection of the excellence that you demand of your people, and we were the beneficiaries of it today, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to keep this short because I really don't enjoy this. Just a couple of points. South Florida, Florida more broadly, has just been fantastic to us, Mr. President. We have with us 2 very special people. They know our team in and out. I have to recognize them. Mark Bogan and Monica Shapiro from Broward County. They're just 2 superstars. And it's hard to start, really, Gary. When we took the team, it was a little tough. And we really needed the help of the community and the political class, and quite frankly, the private leadership. I could thank every member of the Panthers staff. They were all here, the team. I'm going to bring up a guy that you would really like. He's just a tough, talented. His spirit just went right into the team. He's helped define it. His dad was a great player, Keith Kachuk. I don't know if you remember him. Yeah, he was a big, strong guy. He's like his dad. Before I do, I want to say one thing, because my brain runs all over the place. Jared Moskowitz, your dad, when I bought this team, spent countless hours with me, driving me all over Fort Lauderdale. Meeting with, right, Monica? He was a great, great guy. I want you to know he was a great guy, and I want you to know you carry him in your heart every day. and he'd be so proud of you and the public service. Now, Mr. President, I'm going to ask Matthew Tkachuk come up. We got a few things for you. I really hope you like them, especially the. Is it up there? We framed. You're the only. Listen, we had to go 45 and 47, right? And so I thought you'd like that, but instead of a Ranger tab, because we designed this like the Ranger Battalion. Your tab says POTUS. See above the Florida. See that, Rick? Yeah. That's pretty cool, right? All right, Matthew, come on up here. You're going to talk to the president about your team.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. President, for having us today. We greatly appreciate it. And being one of the few Americans who loves this country so much. This is such an incredible day for myself, and you wake up every day and I'm really grateful to be an American. So thank you. But yeah, this team and this group of guys is super special, and everybody sees what we do on the ice. But I've built bonds with these guys that'll, I'll have for the rest of my life, and I'm forever grateful for these guys. We're forever champs, and I'll always remember these guys.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Thank
So. With that said, we've got a few gifts for you. Mark, you want to hang out? Hope you like this one.
This is a trick. They say it's really heavy. This is a trick. I've lifted it no matter what I do. I'll lift it. Do I get that too? Do I get that? Hold it up over there. See, the father was some great player too. Great guy. Genetics, right?
Following you, you're the
Okay, let's go. We're going to the Oval Office.